All right, welcome back to Footballing with Ben Roethlisberger. I am Ben, he is Spence, and we are extremely excited for our new first-time guest.
It's true, he is new.
He's new to the show.
Exactly.
So he's a first-timer. And we are not in the basement, by the way. Everyone's probably like,
It looks a little
because
different.
we only do the basement, but we're not. We are so excited to have this guest on that we decided to come to him. That's how big of a deal he is.
It's true.
So football and family around the world, please welcome the number one comedian in the whole entire world, Nate Bargatze.
Bargatze.
Hey, there he is.
Yeah.
We have to give you a round of applause too.
Thank you.
We have to say it. I just learned.
Yeah.
Like you got punched in the stomach.
Yeah, but you just learned because you came up with that.
So now I'll never forget it.
Yeah. But it's funny to say, like, I just learned this way when it's your way that you just...
But you said you approved it.
I did approve it, but it's, it's just a funny way to put it. I just learned this way to...
Are you going to, like, tell everybody that now when you meet him?
Bargatze. Yeah. Because a lot of people say, they say Bargatze. And so we go Bargatze.
What is that, by the way?
Italian.
Nope.
Yeah.
He said no.
Bargatze. I wouldn't think that was Italian.
Oh, yeah.
Because it ends in an E?
It's because it's like where it came from.
Where it came from. Makes sense.
It's like
I don't know. Just
it comes from it was many different names.
Many different names.
It started with the P at one point.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Like
completely
pterodactyl?
different. Yep.
Nice.
Like yeah.
Like P before the B?
Yeah,
Or
it
there
was like
no B.
No, there was no B.
Oh,
and then it's
Bargatze.
just slowly changed. And then it's been Bargatze since, 1984.
That's interesting because I got an E in my last name.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there was never an E. It was just ROTH, I guess. And
How'd you get the E?
since 1982.
84?
Yeah. When they had to change it. I guess someone changed it at some point.
I used to have two dots above the O.
Oh, that's cool. You should have kept
What are those things
that,
called?
dude. The thing in Motorhead.
Yeah.
The
I don't
Motorhead
know.
dots.
Yeah, but I don't know what they're called. That's what mine. That's what you've got something in yours.
I got an apostrophe in mine, which
doesn't say anything.
well, it's a pause.
Oh,
Yeah, it goes from T-O to Teo with the apostrophe. Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't make sense either. Anyway,
But I lost that too along the way, man. 1984 thing.
You lost the apostrophe?
Yeah.
What happened to your two dots? Like it just
again, I have no idea. They took the dots away and added an E.
yeah.
So it was ROTH.
And was this, I guess, a while ago?
I guess a long
Yeah,
time ago.
yeah.
Way before I was born. Way before
Yeah.
anybody in my family was born.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. It comes from
Yeah.
Switzerland. That's
We're
what they do
like
in
Swiss.
Swiss German.
Ours is Swiss Italian.
Is Switzerland and Italian and Italy close to each other?
Yes, and so it was like I think there's a lot of people in Italy that went up into Switzerland, southern part of Switzerland. I think that's where we're.
See, my geography, I'm usually really good at it. Are they those countries butt up against each other?
Yeah, I just know because I think I've looked this up, and I'm saying it, and I could be. If you, he could. Someone at home could
fact check you.
Someone at home could look this up. They're like, Switzerland's not even on the map.
It's not even close.
It's not even. It's above Canada. For all I know, like I don't. But
it is what it is.
I'm learning
It sounds good.
You just commit to stuff now. That's what I'm learning. Just commit and just say it.
Until someone, because I would agree with you. Because if you say it with enough confidence, even if someone knows the truth, they might question themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I'm pretty confident that Switzerland's not by there, but he was so confident with it.
Yeah.
I think it is.
He said that like a fact.
Yeah, I think he's right. I definitely think he's right. Even though I was born there and I was raised there, right on the border. He's
It's
right.
enough to put doubt. It's enough doubt to seep in. To go, maybe I'm, because then you do go from I think your instinct is to go like, well, maybe I'm wrong. Like,
Yeah.
It's smart.
I had a joke, a story about that where when I played baseball, I got a triple off a walk, and the catcher was holding the ball, and I was running around the bases, and he throws it over, the ball goes in the outfield, and the outfield over to third base. So I got a home run off a walk, inside the park home run off a walk. I slide into home, and the umpire tells us it was only ball 3. That's what he tells me. And so this is an old story I've told, but what I learned, I do with is that if you're confident, you can get away with quite a bit. Because if you break down the story, the catcher knew I wasn't supposed to go because that's why he was holding the ball.
Okay.
He wasn't holding it. He was holding it because he was like, I don't think he's supposed to go.
Okay.
And then I confidently just ran to second. So
you just went past first and went to second.
Well, I turned around and I'm looking at the catcher holding the ball, and I'm like, all right, I'll go, dude. Like,
Dare me.
And so then I ran. Well, now he's like, well, I guess I messed up. And then he's out of control, launching it everywhere. And then, the umpire, probably doesn't really realize what's going on. But then it's just, right when you're around in third, it's like, well, might as well let him just come back to me. What are you going to do, stop it? Yeah. He goes,
Wait a minute.
He goes, let him just come, and then there's a play at the plate. I mean, everybody's convinced.
There's a play at the plate.
There's a play at the plate.
But his umpire, is he convinced a little bit too, or he's just
He is, I think, until I'm probably
He's looking
right
at his
past
clicker.
short, about to go to third. And I think he realized I'm coming home, and he's like, well, why? It's more hassle for him to go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, it doesn't
just let it
matter.
play out.
Just let it play out. And then, I think it would have been cool if he just let it go and just
let it
and
be, not even like let him score, and
just let me score.
Give him the run.
Yeah, go out. Don't even, because what I did have, I had a triple off a walk the year before that was legit. So I was known for this.
So these are all true stories.
These are all true. So that's why I was so confident, because in 12-year-old baseball, I got a triple off a walk that counted. So as I'm running these bases for this inside the park walk, I mean, in my head, I'm like, I think you heard about me. This is what I do.
That's his MO?
Yeah,
legend.
this is what I do. Don't let me on, dude. You don't want me on base. Doesn't matter how.
Were you moving? Like you're like running hard too?
Oh,
like it's
yeah. I mean, the most committed. Running the hardest you could run.
Yeah.
Running so hard that
everybody thought it.
50 people are confused at what's going on. That's how hard I was running.
Convincingly
It's
hard.
the coach, convincing. Like so much so that the coach is like, that's only ball 3, but I could be wrong.
I think Nate knows.
Oh, yeah.
He knows more than anybody.
They've never seen the audacity of a kid. And I also say this in the story. The fun part was no one explained it to the parents. So the parents, so the parents are like, it's a pretty exciting play.
Yeah.
And then I just stand up and bat again. No,
I was gonna say what ends up happening. You don't even remember.
I stand up, immediately strike out, and then the inning was over, and that's what happened. No explanation. There wasn't a loudspeaker where they go, "Let me explain what happened." They just
People
the parents
just lost.
People are cheering, losing their mind. Inside the ball off a walk. Can you believe it? Why is he getting his bat? Strike out.
Sit down.
Sit down. Yeah.
What the only thing that I don't know if anything makes that story any better. The only thing that would have made it more really unbelievable, more unbelievable than it is if like that would have been the winning run.
Oh, yeah.
But then you end up losing the game. So you win the game, your team comes out, and like nope, then you got straight, and then you lose it. So the other team goes crazy. Like, but I think you'd have more awareness.
Here's why I don't think it would make the story better. Because the stakes are too high. You want to be in a league that doesn't matter at all.
Okay.
You don't want to be like you doing that.
Yeah.
You want to be in a league where you go, I quit baseball after that. Like it's got to be a league like that where they just go like,
didn't matter.
I think let's wrap it up. My life,
Let's wrap it
my
up.
life altered after that. I went no more sports.
That was the end of your sport. See, I was going to ask you about this, like, your sports career, because you are a big sports guy.
I am.
And I definitely want to get into that because, Evan, everything all right? Because something big happened this last year in the football world.
Yes.
That we can maybe talk. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
It has something to do with your hat or something like that,
I remember.
that team or whatever. We can talk about that maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was enough of a ripple in the sports world to talk about.
You ain't ever felt nothing like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well we're gonna get to that, but before we get to that, I would like to we have a little segment called Seven's Top 7.
Oh, you text me this. So you open with this.
We like to bring it out hot.
Oh,
Because I'm afraid, especially someone like you, that does a lot of interviews and is very popular and famous, they might forget things.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to forget it.
Because you told me to do this 7.
I told you to do it because I had to give you a heads up, right?
Yeah.
And so we've done a lot of fun things. We've done things like Christmas movies, top Christmas movies. Mm-hmm. Last week we did with Evan was our guest and we did snacks.
Yeah.
By the way, what's your number one snack of all time? Mine was Oreos. What's your go-to snack? Road trip, I gotta have a snack. Your wife's not looking. You can have whatever snack you want.
I mean, I eat so bad. It's just not good. I can go for a Snickers. It's like, and I think of it as a snack. The rest of it is like kind of grazing, not good, unhealthy. But like Snickers
your go-to.
A good.
What a segue into this week's top 7.
Yeah.
Because we're going to do our top 7 candies.
Oh.
Okay. Top 7 candies. Sometimes we do no particular order. We're particular order in this one.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you my 7. Mm-hmm. And then you can talk about my number 7 guy if you want, or you can just say I agree with you, Ben, because you're.
Did you 7 because of you?
7's top 7.
Is it because 7's top 7? Like you're
hey Nate, welcome, I'm Ben.
I know that, but I mean, I just now put it together. 7. You go. Thank goodness you weren't 32 or something. Just to cut to now. We're like, God, dude, I don't know if I can name 32. Oh, this is Michael Jordan's podcast. He's like 23, top 20. You're like, oh my God.
That's a lot of 23.
That's a lot of 23. You're like, I'm going to do Michael Vick's podcast. Just 1.
2.
He was number 2?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was with us.
Yeah, I was gonna say
maybe
he was 7 with the Falcons.
7 with the Falcons.
You want Cam Newton? 7. That's what you want.
I want Cam Newton.
Cam Newton's
1. Yeah.
Yeah.
His podcast is probably pretty lively.
Yeah. All right, so my number 7, Candy, is and I do have one honorable mention. I always throw one.
You gotta have one.
And I'm gonna. Do I do my honorable mention first?
No, save it.
Save it to the end. Okay.
Save it.
My number 7 is a Milky Way bar.
Huh.
I know. Just it's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
What's your number 7?
I don't know. If Milky Way bar. I'm going to react off yours. I just had a Milky Way bar not too long ago. I never really went into the Milky Way world.
I like the caramel.
I got very. I know. I think I was nervous I did Snickers, and I thought Milky Way was like. I didn't know what you were trying to do. You know, that's how I thought Milky Way. Like you're like, what are y'all trying to do?
Okay.
Like Snickers.
What lane are you in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Snickers is Snickers, and then Milky Way is kind of like, well, what are you talking about? Why are you here?
Yeah, it feels like it'd be worse. Right?
You're like the same thing, but just like
maybe you just don't want the
different enough.
Peanut. Yeah, okay.
It was like the Almond Joy Mounds conversation we had going on.
Almond Joy Mounds are terrible.
Yeah, I don't like those either. But you like them?
Coke, yeah, man. Well, not Mounds. Mounds feels like we already have you, but better with the Almond Joy.
Yes.
So that's the Milky Way.
Almond Joy is not good either.
All right, man. You have your list. I'll have mine.
I know. That's what I'm commenting on your list too. Did you go with a 7? Do you have a number 7?
I don't know. I want to hear.
No, it's
everybody's
1 and 1.
Oh, 1 and 1.
You go 1-1.
7. You give me your number 7.
I don't even
I have to give you my whole list, and then you're going to comment on. You're going to steal my candies.
Well, then I'll just go off yours, and I can kind of.
Okay, so you just went off my Snickers. So my Milky Way. Okay, well then I'll go with my number 6.
Yeah.
Snickers.
Oh, that should be higher. That's crazy.
I'm glad you feel that.
But why would you even do those two next to each other? You're doing the same thing.
No, it's not because Snickers.
You better
I actually like Snickers.
Going nuts on this top part. This top part better veer in a different direction.
I like Snickers frozen.
Yeah, I mean I do too, but like that doesn't mean
I don't. Snickers used to be when I was younger, when I was a child, Snickers would be my top 3, and as I've grown up, it's moved down the list a little. Just letting you know.
Snickers is it's just a solid.
It made my top 7 list. It made a top 6 list.
Yeah, but you put it next to Milky Way. Like that's.
Wait till you.
If you asked for a candy bar and someone brought you a Milky Way, it would be frustrating.
Not for me. Because I don't eat it that often, so it's a pleasant surprise when the caramel just kind of. When was the last time you bit a Snickers?
What would you say? Like someone brings it to you, but oh, you went all out for me, didn't you? He goes, thanks for. It's a little disappointing. But if someone walks into Snickers, you're like, what a place. You go, wow.
Only if it's frozen.
You go, this is the real deal, dude. This is a real.
I don't know. If I go to Discovery Life, there's both of them in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 5.
Ready for number 5?
Yeah.
Since he doesn't have a list, this isn't really fair. Number 5 for me is a hot tamale.
That doesn't even.
I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, it's a spicy candy, cinnamon candy.
Yeah. I don't think it's like a.
It's not candy?
No, it's candy, but it's like frustrating if you get it.
It's
just
not
a hot, spicy.
It's delightful. You could eat a whole box.
Well, I don't know if. I mean, it's like a cinnamon.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I don't know about eating a whole. I don't see it out as enjoyable.
Because
it feels
you can't handle
like
spicy, right? You can't handle spicy. I get it.
No, I can handle spicy. It just feels all right. I want to keep going. Okay. I don't think you're even touching anything that I'm.
He's lost so much respect for your ability to grade candy.
Again, this is my show. Number 4, I have Skittles.
Okay, Skittles will be up there for me.
Okay,
I love Skittles.
I'm glad we can agree.
Yeah.
Number 3 is a Twix bar.
Okay, I like Twix bars too.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
Number 2, and this is a newcomer to my list, okay? And there's a small story behind this candy. And I did not pick this candy because of anybody that's on this show. Okay? But this candy was introduced to me by somebody on this show. And it has become a fast grower for me. It's shot up.
Got the silver medal there.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Nerd clusters.
Oh, the kid right here. Yeah, nerd clusters are unbelievable.
We were. I want to talk about the crew cup.
Yeah.
We were at the crew cup golfing. Both Nate and I were there, and we go into the house, and in my line when there's every kind of candy imaginable. I mean, there's so many. I mean, it's like you walk in, you're just like, where do I begin?
Yeah,
Like where?
it's
do
like
I
a
begin?
candy store.
Yes. On stair. Like, I mean, just little Tupperwares where you just take it off and you reach your hand in if you want.
That's Willy Wonka.
I've
seen Willy Wonka.
It was special.
Yeah,
And so at one point, Nate was like, "Hey, have you ever had?" I was like, "Nerd." I was like, I like nerds. I'm a huge nerd fan.
Nerds rope.
I love nerds, but I'm not a big gummy. Like, I don't really like gummy bears or any gummy type thing. And he's like, "Have you ever had nerd clusters?" I'm like, "No, that seems really like I like nerds, but I don't want that." He goes, "You should try it. You'll like it." I'm like, "No, I don't want to try it." And so after like maybe a day or two, he was like walking around with a handful of them. And they're just tiny little bites, right? And I was like, fine. Because he keeps asking me, you want to try one yet? You want to try one? Fine. I tried one. And from then on, I was hooked.
A whole new world.
this is. And I hope people listen to this. This is why you try stuff. Look at you. You would have missed out on the chance for that to jump up to something to move that high.
It jumped way up there.
Yeah.
I might have put nerds on my top list.
Yeah.
But it's a delightful treat.
Yes.
So much so I stole my kids' Valentine's nerd clusters.
Good for you,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, parenting.
I'm not going to lie. And number 1 always makes people disagree with me, but I don't really care. I like sweet tarts. Like the long, the long
one.
Yeah, the long sweet
I like
tarts.
the long ones too, but not the big ones.
Like the round coins, like the little coin things.
Yeah. But what about the big ones? There's the 4-pack.
Oh, I've never seen
Like
that.
at a gas. You've never seen one at a gas station?
4-pack?
Yeah, they're flat. It's like a flat thing, and there's 4. There's 4. There's like a yellow one, a red one, a blue one.
Well, I don't like yellow one anyway. And yellow one's okay,
Yeah.
but it's not. I don't know. I just want the round.
It's round too.
There you go.
But you're talking about
The little coin.
Yes.
I want the little
Like a
nickel.
dime size.
A dime, yes.
Yeah.
Whatever size it is.
the OG
yes.
sweet
Yes.
tart, yeah.
That's what I want. That's a sweet tart.
not Smarties, but the sweet tarts.
No.
Yeah.
Sweet tarts.
Yeah.
White with the colorful sweet tart written.
I
That's
like sweet tarts too.
Thank you. See?
You should try these other ones though. That they're
big round
more
ones.
chewy.
I know, but I like the crunch on it.
You get a system.
It's
Yeah.
a wide variety. The list.
Do you want my honorable mention and really throw you off?
Yeah.
Rolos.
Oh, Rolos are great.
Yeah, that's like old school.
It is.
Yeah.
The foil. You might get a piece of foil in there.
How do you not know those big circle sweet, but you know Rolos?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What do you want
Or
me to
maybe
say?
they're on low because the sweets that I'm talking about usually are on the bottom shelf of a gas station.
You gotta go
and I don't feel like you go down there that much.
You gotta get it really
Yeah.
go down there though. That's
This
like
is
are they down
all
there with, like,
high
sprees
level.
and stuff.
Yeah, you're not down
Runs.
there, dude.
I
This
don't wanna be
is
down there.
you can't be down there.
So what's your number one candy? If
that's
you don't
all-
want to give me a list, what's your number one candy? You got one candy to have go to.
It's tough. because I can go. I mean, I'm big, so I'll do. So I was Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, that's terrible. My wife loves Sour Patch.
Chris, Sour Patch Kids, gummy worms, or
Like a child.
yes.
I mean, we are talking about candy.
Yeah.
I feel like all of it's
I
kinda
like the big
childish.
sweetheart ones that you don't know exist, but I like those. I'll put those in there right now. This, I'll do M&Ms,
Peanut or
Classic.
plain?
That's a classic.
plain.
It's a classic
Yeah,
move.
I'll give you. I mean, yeah, that's okay.
I'll do Snickers and Three Musketeer. How many is
You're
it?
gonna take a three. I mean, I like a three. I'll eat Three Musketeers.
I love Three Musketeer.
But why is that better than a Milky Way?
It's different. What other stuff has gray on the inside? That's how good they're doing.
It's the gray. That
It's
gets-
gray.
It's the gray.
What do you even want to know what's happening in there?
It's like eating hot
Yeah.
dogs. Like, what's in there?
That was what I used to eat for breakfast when I started comedy, and I delivered for FedEx every morning. I'd have a Diet Coke and a Three Musketeer bar.
Big health guy.
Go out the door with zero nutrition. Start the day in negative nutrition.
You had a long way to go, but
Yeah.
you worked out.
Yeah, I mean, no, back then, no.
So you didn't. Okay, so
But
now
I was
we're going down
delivering. Oh yeah,
Even more. Yeah. That's how old were you when you were doing that? That's when you started comedy.
yeah. So I was probably 25.
So that's when you kind of started getting into like doing this.
Yeah, I started at 20 when I was 23, but then when I started working at that job, it was probably 25. Yeah.
How did you know you wanted to like do this? Did you know you want to do? Is this like at what point in your life did you say this is what I want to do?
I think I always kind of wanted to do stand up. I remember, I did want to do it. I don't know if I knew how to do it. My dad's a magician, so I at least was around, someone not having a regular job or, watching him go. And he does a lot of comedy in his magic. So, but yeah, I think I wanted to do it. I remember my senior in high school, I wrote like, where are you going to be in 10 years? And then I wrote playing in the NBA. Yeah, didn't even make my high school team. And then performing at
I don't mean to
Zanies.
laugh at your dreams. I'm sorry.
By the way, I played the Nashville Baptist Association for real. So NBA.
Nailed it.
And then I performed at Zanies.
Okay.
And I wrote that on there. So and I did that.
Forgive me. What is Zanies? I don't even know.
The local comedy club here.
Okay.
Yeah, still around. So that was it was in there that I wanted to do it. It was just a matter of, I think, getting pushed into doing it, like right opportunity. Like just my buddy wanted to move to Chicago and go to Second City and do improv, and that was enough. And I was like, all right, I'll go with you. And then I started stand up.
Did you weren't like were you like a class clown like that?
Came in second place in the class clown.
Yeah, places.
Yeah.
So close.
Yeah, I was very close. But I didn't deserve it. I deserved second place.
What's the class clown doing now? Do you remember who it was?
It's just, yeah, I do. I know him. Yeah, very kind of a sad. He passed away recently. But
I'm sorry. To hear that.
yeah, I hope you're happy. He really showed you. He's still getting laughs. He's still getting laughs. He was wonderful. He was just very. He was very funny. I'm dry and quieter, and he was very, very funny. He would be the class clown.
Like loud. The class clown's like the loud one, right?
Yeah, it's going to be, and he was just like a super funny dude. I mean, always was. But so I was in there. I was in the running.
So you didn't start comedy until you got to Chicago?
No. No, I never did it here. At the beginning.
What kind of impact do you think moving to Chicago made on you trying? Because I always felt like if you do something like that and you grow up in your hometown, it's like then you have to go get people you went to high school with, like, hey, come see my act.
Yeah.
I feel like that barrier going to a city no one knows you can be whoever you want. It might be easier to get started in something because I feel like stand-up's terrifying.
Well, I think it's the focus is like you're out there. There's really no excuses because what else am I going to go do? It's like you got to go do comedy. You got to go do stand up. You're just out in a different city. You're making new friends. So all your new friends that you make are, either people you work with I worked at a restaurant. They either work at a restaurant with them or they're other comedians and they're trying to be comedians too. So then it makes you, it forces you into like different friend groups, which is good. Like I took a comedy class, and I don't think comedy classes aren't going to teach you. If you really want to be a stand-up comic, you're going to have to learn so much, but it puts you at least around people that are also starting comedy. So you're nervous to go on stage. You're sick to your stomach every week when you're about to go up, but so is everybody else that's in that room. And then you become friends with them. And then, you know, there's a guy, I still talk to one guy, Steve Berger. He played football for Michigan State. And, but he was in my class. I still talk to him and the guy that taught it. But they're, but it helped you being around. Yeah. You're just kind of like, all right, well, that's your identity, really. So it's like at home, you could have your own identity as you and what you do. But when you go there, you're trying to be a comedian. So everybody you meet knows you're trying to be a comedian.
Are you like comparing and competing against each other a little bit?
Stand-up is extremely competitive. I've learned that even more now than it's because, I was just this weekend in SNL for the Saturday Night 50. I was with David Spade and John Lovitz. And John Lovitz brought up, because they both do stand-up, but John Lovitz used to not do stand-up. He does it now. And he even brought up, he goes, but stand-up comics are just ruthless. And it was funny for him to say it. And because it was like, he comes from the improv world where it was, or sketch comedy where you just want the whole thing to be good. So it's not about you, where stand-up it's about me. So if you go up there and someone else gets something that you don't get, or you want to, if someone goes up before you and they do really good and you're like, well, I'm going to go up after them and do better. Or if the show's bad, the shows can be horrible and I'll get them. And no one's getting, like the crowd could be terrible. Everybody's bombing, but a comic will go, I'll get them though.
Is it easier? Like I was trying to think, like if you're going up there, is there, and just forgive me, I'm asking an ignorant question. Like, are there may be more than two, but like I feel like there's like joke tellers and there's like story, like real life kind of storytellers. Yeah. Right? Is one easier or like harder than the other? Is it? 'Cause I feel like you tell a lot of like stories. I tell a lot of stories. Yeah. And now is that easier because you have real life? Then you have to like sit there and think of it, or I got to think of a joke. I mean, you just got to find a way to tell your story in a funny way, right? Or no?
Yeah, but because there's truth in all my stuff. So it all comes from truth. So there's nothing I say that's not true. And I might exaggerate it or go down some different ways just to have the story be funny or something. But the truth, it's all true. And so when you first start comedy, I would tell more jokes when I first started comedy. It would be me. I'd always put myself in them. So I'd always be I never did, like say, people are like this, or women are like this, or men are like this, or I would always say, I'm like this, my wife's like this. And even though that way you're still doing it, you're still doing the same thing that men and women are like this and that, but I'm just saying it's about me. And then you can either relate to it or you can just laugh because I'm stupid, whatever reason, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But when you first started, I think I would do more jokes. That's what I learned in New York, because you're doing quick sets. You're doing 5 minutes, you're doing 10 minutes. And that's all you're doing really for the first, a long time. The bulk of your time on stage is probably 10 to 15 minutes. Wow. And then you start going on the road and you do 30 minutes, then you start doing 45 or an hour, and then it kind of changes. But so I always like to say I tell stories, I think in a very joke format. So it's like I'll tell a story, but I make sure I never try to be too far from a laugh. So if the laugh is because you don't want to put too much pressure on a laugh. So if I'm telling a story and it's quiet for too long, well, if it's quiet for a minute, then when I make you laugh, it better be like crazy, because I've made you wait. But if I can make you laugh every 3 seconds to 10 seconds, just chuckling, just kind of going with me, well, then it just helps that the laugh that is the bigger laugh, it all adds up into like a great laugh. One. Yeah, you don't want to just do like too much.
Did you I'm trying to think, it seems crazy because like for like when I was playing football or playing like the quarterback, like you might go into a game feeling like nerves, jitters, or whatever. And then it's like, okay, after I either complete a first pass or you get a first down or you throw a touchdown, you're kind of like, you get into that rhythm. Is that the same thing like when you're up there, like once the first laugh comes, or is it like, you know, when do you feel like, especially because you're saying like sometimes it's only like 5 or 10 minutes on stage, like it's got to be hard to like almost like, because if I am struggling on it, if I have a day where I'm struggling at quarterback and I'm just like, it's not going my way, incompletion, you know, we're not scoring, whatever, you're like, gosh, it's going to be one of them days. You know, I got to turn this thing around. And you're trying too hard. And you can end up doing something bad. Is it the same way in that sense where you're trying so hard?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can sit there and you start out with a joke, and maybe you start with something, you say something that you thought of right off stage, and then you go say it and you think it's going to be funny, but they don't like get it, or they don't, and you really, it's because you didn't commit to it or deliver it the way you should. You kind of delivered it sheepishly, and then you just get like real red. Then you're like, all right, well, and then you just go into like, now I got to get them. So now I go to jokes that work, and I'm just trying to like get back to level. So then I can go from there. But it's very much like that, where you sit there and you try to save it. Sometimes it can be even weird where the room could be weird. Like say it's if you did a show in here, it's like, it's not going to be like a comedy club. It's going to be because it's kind of weird and different. But you could go on stage here and do a show, and then the whole time it just kind of feels awkward because you never addressed, hey, we're in a cabin. Where if you then sometimes you do 30 minutes. And then at 35 minutes, you go like, we're in a cabin. It's kind of weird, right? And then everybody laughs at that. And then the tension's broke. And then the rest of your set is great. And you're like, I should have done that.
I should have
started with that. Yeah. And for some reason, it's when you're up there, because you're talking. They're looking at you. There's no one else up there. So there's nowhere to go. And so you're just trying to survive, where you make bad decisions, and stopping and settling down and going, all right, let's get this all in sync here. And sometimes they're not going to be in sync. Sometimes you can just feel it's just kind of out of sync, and there's really no way for you to do it or to get them back in sync. It could be the setup. It could be they're there for something else, and then now every time I've done comedy where I don't think they know there was supposed to be comedy, and then so you go up and someone brings you up, and then there's no context really to it, and you think they know that they're supposed to watch comedy, and then I talked to my buddy Travis, his wedding. I gave like a best man speech, and I just did like some of my act because he wanted me to. Well, no one knew. This was years ago. No one knows I'm a comedian. So it just looked like I was trashing marriage at their reception. So there was no context. No one, with comedy, you really want to be like, I need really everybody to know what's going on. I had a joke about it where it's like, if they don't, it sounds like a mean speech. And that's, if you don't understand where, hey, this is coming from a place of funny and love and whatever. And that's what I remember there's one woman that was dying laughing though. And that's all I remember.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. She was just cackling. And I think about her a lot. Because no one understood. It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
What I was saying. I had like an old joke. I was like, marriage.
Person like huh? You always get one person. Like I'll listen. Sometimes if I don't want to listen to like the radio, I'll listen to like on Sirius. I'll listen to like one of the comedy stations or whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes people just aren't funny. And I won't laugh they do like little small segments, right?
Yeah.
And I won't laugh one time, but people laugh after every punchline. And I'm like, are they laughing because they're supposed to laugh?
Are you uncomfortable?
Are they like yeah. Because I'm not, like there's nothing funny about what was just said.
Yeah.
But you hear someone in the background laughing. I don't know if there's, as a comedian, like, I don't know if that like, that wasn't really that funny. Like, what are you laughing about? Like, I don't even know. What are we doing here?
They can laugh at like setups. You can have them where they're excited and and laughing weird. Even can be, sometimes you can have it be too much. I've had it where you can hear someone's got a real distinct laugh or something, and you're kind of like, kind of messes the show up because everybody's kind of noticing it. And then you don't want to really draw attention to it because if I draw attention to it, now every time that person laughs, everybody's going to look at that. And you might be in a set, and it'll happen where I go, all right, maybe if I realize it, well, if you see it at the beginning of this show, you might be like, well, I have an hour, so I don't want to bring this up, and then I have to deal with this for an hour. Or maybe I do want to bring it up, so you can figure it out. But then you can be like, I have 10 minutes left, and now I'm noticing it. Well, I only have 10 minutes. I want to be done. Yeah. So I'm going to just plow through and just not acknowledge it and just get out. Because it gets weird too, because not everybody can hear that person, and they could be up front, and someone's sitting in the backs, like they don't know
what's going on.
You make fun of them. It'll be like out of nowhere. There was one time I remember, it's all stuff you learn at Zany's, our club here. Like I remember these women up front just would not stop talking. And it's a club that's like 300 seats. And so they just were drunk and whatever, and they're talking. But in the back, no one can hear them talking, but I can hear. So I can't even, my train of thought is like gone because you're just hearing them talking. And then out of nowhere, you're like, all right, can y'all please stop like that? Well, then no one knows that they're talking. So you just learn that you just look like a lunatic. That just they're like, what the women are just having a fun time. But they don't know that it's been going on for 20 minutes. So then you need to address.
Yeah, that's what I want to, like, would you rather, and maybe everything's different, like, would you rather be in a small venue where you can see the people and like actually have that like engagement, or like in a big venue where it's like it's just black, like you can't see anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I assume when you do those big venues, it's all like it's no interaction, it's just whatever. Like, do you prefer one over the other? Like, because you can avoid that, or that makes it harder. Because if you're in a small venue and people are talking, maybe everybody hears it and they all agree with you.
Yeah.
But if they don't, then maybe it's different. I don't know if you have a preference one way or if it matters.
I mean, they're both great. I mean, I went on stage last night at Zany's. They got a new room, like a small room, and I went up last night just on one of their shows, just like a pop-up. And so it's very fun because there is like, you can talk a little bit. I was never someone that talked to the crowd a lot. I was like, it's kind of a performance. So I like the big rooms because it feels like a performance. And then it's like, just let me do my thing. And if you start yelling or start doing stuff, you're like, I can handle it. I don't want to handle it. I want to just do, the act, and I have it like, this rhythm. It's like a song. So it's like I'm up there just in a good rhythm, and you get in that good rhythm, and you got them, and you get them rolling where they're just like, I'm hitting them. You can just hear them laughing. Then you wait till they calm down just enough, and then it's like your act changes very much, not completely in what you're talking about, but in how you do it. And so you get to this joke quicker. Sometimes they might be laughing at setups. And so you're like, all right, this crowd's like super hot and they're laughing at everything. So then you got to go, it's going to be this set is probably going to be longer. So if I have 60 minutes of material, this set will probably be 65 to 70 minutes because they're laughing at everything. Versus sometimes they're not laughing. They're only laughing at the one punch in every story. So not necessarily it means they're a bad crowd. It just means, all right, well, now I'm going to get through a lot of stuff a lot quicker. So then that same 60 minutes, I mean, you could do, if you have I've done an hour of material in 30 minutes. Wow. If it's just being you're just in a small.
So I know when I come to your show, when you come to Pittsburgh, if it's a good crowd, if we're laughing, then I know I'm going to expect the good Nate. Like we're gonna hey guys, we might get an extra 10, 15 minutes. On that.
Yeah. Oh,
break out the goods.
Yeah, don't say 10 or 15 out loud, Oh, but just, you go.
Get a little something.
Yeah, they go. I think he's gonna get a joke. And then you come up on stage after you see the clock, it says 58. Like I got off right before an hour. And you go, man, I read the room wrong.
Gosh, that's not what I thought.
I thought
he was killing.
I thought you were going to do. You learned that too, that sometimes you think the room's not good or you didn't do good, but you learn, then you get off and everybody's like, loves it. And you're like, all right. And because you would say it, if you're on stage, you're like, man, this is not going good. Where it's just because, I don't know, we are in front of crowds all the time, so you can kind of fill it out. And
you don't get booed, right? People don't boo you. Like there's none of that.
No.
Even if you're bad, people just like they either leave or they just stop. They don't listen.
Yeah, the booing. I don't think I mean, if I've got booed, it's like I've done shows at TGI Fridays, so I'm in situations where booing's not good. It's
I said it wouldn't, but
oh yeah, I did a show once at a bar in some bar in upstate New York, I think, and the stage was in the middle of the bar, so all the tables are you're like in the round kind of, and then all the tables are around it, and then I'm standing in the middle. But when you stand all the way up, there's wine glasses hanging. So if you stood all the way up, your head's just, no one can see your head. So the whole time I'm just having to like bend down halfway to like tell these jokes and look at them. Because they don't, with comedy, people don't think about this setup always. They think like, just come do your thing. And you're like, yeah, man, it's good. If you want it to be good.
Right.
It really, we need a kind of setup, and it's for the audience too.
Yeah.
Just because if you want them to have fun, it's better if they sit close to each other. If you're in a big room and they're sitting at round tables kind of far away, that's not going to be as good of a setup because people are spread out. People, when they laugh, they want to be near each other, and then they don't feel like they're the only one laughing, and so it's contagious and laughter, and people have a lot more fun and.
We were literally just talking about that on the drive over. I'm watching movies with people that are funny. Yeah. And like you watch it by yourself. You're like, oh, that's cool. And you watch it with one of your boys. You're like, that's hilarious, man.
Yeah. Well, that's why going to the movies is such a great thing is because you want to be with other people and you want the excitement. And, when you go see a movie and you hear everybody claps or something afterwards and you're like, it's just fun. Like you just all had this awesome experience. Mm-hmm. That's why stand-up's doing so good right now, I think. As an art form, better than it's ever done, is because people want to go out, people want to do something, and there's not much to do.
I have a kind of a weird art or comedy nerd question, man, because I remember when I first discovered your comedy, I felt like it was like I hadn't seen anybody else that you reminded me of. I'm like, oh, this is like, it felt like the first time I saw you, I think you were doing. I don't know when it was. It was the joke where you're changing in the parking lot.
Yeah,
and the guy
Olivia, Tennessee kid.
Yeah. So, and I've always been enamored with like the New York comedy scene of the comedians. You always hear these stories of like these guys coming up, and you had these nights of like, Fallon's up there and all these like legendary comedians before they were, they blew up. Having done that in New York and having like a class you came up with, how is it, or is it challenging for you to find and discover your own voice as a comedian when you're in the midst of so many other comedians every day, every night? How do you guys not rub off on each other, kind of influence each other?
You rub off a lot, and you just have to be aware of it. So I love awareness. Like for anybody, I think awareness is a great tool to have, and if you can be aware, it can help you. And so like awareness is, you have to know you're doing it. But at the beginning, so everybody in New York, when I came there, a lot of people sounded like David Tell because we would go watch him every night. I mean, I could tell I did. And then also my friends that we're hanging out with all day, like, you sound like your buddies and in general. And then we're all going on stage. So if there was a comic that, a guy I opened for, Big J. Okerson, very dirty, very funny, but he's very dirty. I don't know so I would get to be watching him a lot, and I could catch myself sounding like him, and so you got to be aware of it, and you're going to be like that at the beginning, but you got to learn to, eventually got to learn to like grow out of it. It's again, some of it's like just know you're doing it. And then constantly try to work and stop watching people. Brian Regan was another one. You would get into, because if you start taking how they tell the punchline, that's the hardest part to find is how do you deliver the joke, That's the personality of the comic and everything, and that's the thing that takes a long time to learn. And so, like Brian Regan was someone, I remember at some point having to stop, I just couldn't watch him anymore. You just go like, I don't need to watch this. I'm too influenced by that person. So a lot of it's that you just end up having to be like, all right, well, I'm not going to go watch anybody. At the beginning, you're watching everybody, and then eventually you just got to go. I can't because I need to sound like me and not.
And then what? Just trusting that as reps, just getting out there like, that's my voice,
it's just
that's
going up every single. I mean, when I was in New York, I went on stage. I think it's 8.5 years, and I went on stage every day for 8.5 years. Whether even if I came home, I went and did an open mic, or if I did something, I was something on stage.
Well, see, that's interesting too, man. Because in this day and age where like you have like the online social media comedian, like do you feel like the technology that a lot of these younger guys have to be able to get their comedy out there is taking away some of the like chops that you need or the stripes that you're getting earned?
Yeah, because a lot of new comics, it's not their fault. But if they want to get booked at a club or if they want to get on anything, they're like, well, how many followers does that person have? Well, so now you're training everybody that wants to get into, you're not developing anybody. You're just going like, hey, just get the most followers. Well, the only way to get the most followers the quickest is to do something dumb or silly or, like shocky or something like that. So it doesn't develop you where you get to sit. And it's hard to have the patience to, sit and wait. And because these guys are blowing up in 3 years and they're doing these giant things. And you can see then they can get put in situations where they're not really ready for it. And you get like when I did Saturday Night Live for the first time, it was like I was 20 years into doing comedy. So I was very much I had a lot to choose from that what I wanted to go do. And that's what you need. And when you're younger, you're just not going to have that much to choose from. And then it also makes people not write an act because that's where you're seeing the crowd work stuff and all that. And you're like, look, you can do crowd work and there's guys that are great at it, but like Matt Rife's Matt Rife. Like it doesn't mean that you get his career just because you're doing crowd work. And I think sometimes they're like, well, I'll just do that. You're like, yeah, maybe he's different though. Maybe he's got something that you don't have. Yeah. So then you're going to go learn this thing and then not know how to create anything. You got to have an act. You got to create. And I think that goes for anybody in any job is if you can create an act, then you can go in any situation. And, I'm very like now where I'm at in my career, we're, probably hopefully start doing some movies and stuff like that. But I'm able to go in and do these movies and I'm doing them the way that I want them to be done because I'm doing my own thing with stand-up. Yeah. So it's like I have my own business kind of in a sense. So like if I want to go do a movie, I don't have to go do the movie they want me to do. I'm like, you're going to do the movie I want to do.
You mean you're obviously your act is known to be clean.
Yeah.
I say thank you as a parent for that, and everything. But because you talk about doing it, like I don't think there's probably a lot of clean comedians.
No.
I mean, and was that always your thing? Did it go that way at some point? Was it always that way? I know because I've met your parents; they're lovely people.
Yeah.
So you grew up in the church, but with a faith background, did that have something to do with it? Where if you would have you done that with your parents? What would your parents go nuts if you would have come out the gate cussing like crazy, or what does that look like? Because
I don't think I could have done it.
Yeah, so that's always been your shtick is clean comedy and whatever.
Yeah, I was always going to be clean. I was never going, and it was never a question. So I was fortunately, I just knew that I didn't want my parents. I could never have been dirty in front of my parents, and. So even when I've moved to New York and I was doing shows, I'd be doing like midnight shows that would be like uncensored and all that, and they'd be kind of sold as this like edgy kind of thing. And I never had any of those jokes, but I think it helped because then weirdly, I'm trying to hide my cleanness in this world I need to feel like I'm edgy or whatever it was. So you learn to kind of almost like a backwards way is like, well, I'm trying to hide that. I don't want you to realize I'm not cursing or that I'm not talking about sex or something like that. Mm-hmm. So you just learn a new way to like sound different than everybody else. And yeah, clean comedy there's a lot of comics coming up now that I think there is people trying to be clean, but yeah, it's not it's not a ton of clean comics. Yeah. There's, you know, and they're younger but there's, you know, and there used to be all clean, and then I think it went kind of dirty, and then so hopefully there'll be some kind of resurgence, and you can be whatever you want to go be. I think you should learn. I think you should know how to. Mm-hmm. Like if you go talk on TV.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you said on the way here too, I think, is that, sorry if I want to sneeze. It's like some people like just use foul, maybe you said it in a movie or a comedy.
Felt like a cop out. Felt like vulgar or like dropping an F-bomb or something, which just felt like, oh, this isn't working, so I'll say something crazy.
Yeah.
You know, instead of like writing a well-crafted joke or like getting, you know, paying attention to the setup or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's where they get, and that's the hard part with crowd work is if a comic starts with crowd work, it's to get them to laugh in that situation, in a panicky kind of situation where you're like, this has to go good. It's going to be tough to do that. It looks unbelievable.
Nate, this is Chef Evan.
Evan
is he's like got his own like cult following on the show. I mean, he's the reason we have a sponsorship, and he's
This is actually Evan's show.
This is Evan's show. We're just we're a small part of it. So we always do. This is going to be a little different because we usually do the family dinner. Yeah, that's when we talk about family and stuff. But this whole show is going to be about that. So Evan just brought the food in to, you know, do our thing. Evan, what do we got?
Yeah, we're rolling with 3 different sliders today. So the ones closest to you, Ben, those are Nashville hot chicken. The ones in the middle are bacon cheeseburger. And then on the end there, that is Cajun catfish.
Oh, wow.
And then I did some tater tots there because...
Of course you did.
Like a palate cleanser, you know?
Yeah.
In between bites.
In between bites.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
This is what we do. This is what Evan does, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you, Evan. Did you have anything you want to add to the show?
Not at this moment, no.
Okay,
nothing
you want to come back?
It's that kind of show, man.
Yeah,
it's not a kind of show where it's hard to answer. You guys, I don't want to go down with you guys. You guys,
sinking ship, man.
Yeah,
get out of here,
this
man.
ship's going down.
I was bringing the food and getting out of here, man.
That's really it.
Well, thank you. We'll holler at you.
We actually started.
You can holler from way over there if you have a question or something.
All right.
I got you behind Nate, just cooking so everyone can see your hard work too in the shot.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Well, enjoy.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Thanks, Evan.
We actually just started a show to eat in front of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really kind about it.
Evan and Spence created a cookbook last year. It's success. And we're going to maybe do another one this year.
Yeah.
Oh,
true.
Oh, Evan, that feels like delightful.
What was the first one he said? Nashville hot chicken?
Nashville hot chicken.
Man.
I don't do pickles on my sandwich.
Found the one thing.
Get my palate cleanser here. And I'm just going to eat because this is what I do. So.
Yeah. I know you said you were headed to a dinner or something. After
I'm right. I mean, I'll eat though.
This would be better than
I'm going to eat
take my pickles off.
It's a assisted living place, so
No.
I can't imagine
that was literally
that's
my
where we
first
go.
job.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm from Florida, and there's a whole lot of them down there.
Oh, yeah. Talk about them like they're deer. There's a whole bunch of them down there.
Whole lot of.
There's more than usual down there. You got to flash your lights at them.
Yeah, first job, dishwasher, man. As assistant, like you couldn't and you know what it felt like, that movie, Waiting.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think I'll actually like their food. I like cafeteria style food.
Yeah.
Oh, square pizza, the rectangle pizza.
Oh, man.
What's the best?
That's the best.
Best cafeteria, like the Salisbury
I think
steak?
it's that pizza,
That
the rectangle
pizza with the pepperoni. It was like little, just a little.
Or those chicken breasts looks like they draw it on the grill marks with a Sharpie.
Yeah,
those ones.
But if the pizza was like, I mean, it's a big day when pizza comes around.
Big day.
Big day.
Like microwaved. Do you want one of these, by the way?
I'll get to it. I don't know where I'm going to put it without ruining our entire setup.
Yeah, I know. I want to eat one too.
I get made fun of on our show for eating. Like literally, that's what they say. Ben's house and food. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's good.
He's Big Ben.
It's good. I want to
normal Ben.
Yeah. I do. I mean, again.
You know, camera. Okay, I'll let you go. I'll let you know, camera.
They go. I mean, I'm not.
Something made me think. I knew we were talking about like the cleanness and the language. Sorry, I said something on the camera anymore. And you said everything was like. Everything was like true. At what point do you have to like get okay from the wife first?
Yeah, you know what's funny? I had her.
You have a daughter.
I have a daughter, 12-year-old daughter.
Yeah. Do you have like? Is that like, hey guys, I'm gonna do this? And then how far do I go?
Yeah, I didn't. You just ask a long question so you can eat. You just get it rounded. Yeah, it gets you rounded up. He goes, "What's the do the alphabet real fast?
Yeah.
Go ahead."
Doing different voices.
Yeah. I like last night. I had her go. Last night I went up because I was working on a few things, and I did tell her I had one thing that I was bringing up. I ended up not even bringing it up, but I want to bring it up. But because sometimes when you first say it, it might come off a little mean, and you're like, I don't want it to be mean or one-sided, and I'll have to work with it and get it figured out. But no, they know everything that I've done. My daughter, I kind of backed off of. I talked about her when she was like younger. This new hour, I have a little bit about her, but I got a little kind of, I was like, I don't want, kids at school or, they come up, she introduces me. I was like, I don't want to, I want her to not feel like I'm going to make everything a joke, that she can come to me and not be scared to come tell me something, because I'm going to, we have that relationship where it's like, she doesn't go like, well, I don't want you to make this a joke or something. It's like, you want to be her dad, and her to be able to be like, it's okay, you can come to me and talk to me. And so I'm a little with her. I mean, because I have some stories that I want to tell of her, but I'm kind of just sitting, I'm waiting. I have one that I think it will be a big story, but I gotta wait till she understands that. I mean, I'm never gonna do it in a mean way, but it's like I just need to understand that like the joke's not on her, and so just when she's finally comfortable, or I feel like she's like can wrap her head around it, then
be a heck of a career day. You going for career day?
I did. I have a joke about it. I do stand-up comedy if you want to watch it.
Yeah, you didn't see his new special?
You should check it out.
Wow.
I do.
Friends, right? You guys are friends?
Yeah.
Oh, the new one, the Amazon one?
Yeah.
No,
Or the Netflix one? Which one's the newest one?
The Netflix one is the newest.
You know that time
I was at your house and stayed at your house
during that. What's that
with
big
my
holiday?
family? Christmas
Christmas.
at the Steelers game. Went to the game.
Birth of our Lord.
Yeah.
Spent the night at your house. I was at your house the day it came out.
I know. I do remember that now.
Yeah.
And I did see it.
Remember that now?
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought
You
that
showed
the
it to
career
me,
day,
dude.
I know.
Yeah.
My mind, I did blank because this burger's really good.
No, but I did go. I have gone to career day.
That's right. I did hear that. See, that's why I felt like I do remember that now, because I was thinking for some reason that you had told me that story, like we were friends.
Yeah. See, well, that's
We weren't
the name
friends.
of the special.
We're not friends.
Your friend, Nate Bargatze.
Everything, but you bring up, you're like, oh man, I thought that was between me and you.
I
I'm
thought we
like,
were boys.
I've been doing my act the whole time. Do you? You thought I was like so funny. You're like,
thought we were like, boy.
I go, man. I mean, he's so funny with me.
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting to me because I feel like nowadays comedians and podcasts are having like a special moment.
Yeah.
Like I feel like some of the funniest podcasts or the best podcasts in the world are done by comedians. How do you guys like navigate that line of not doing a bit on your show every week or somebody else's show every week and like, oh, I'm going to save that for my act? Like that was good.
I've had it happen, but it's being aware about it, like thinking about it. And so putting the extra effort in to kind of keep that in mind, because it's I am pretty proud that how I've done it. There's been times I had a story about our front door getting refinished, and the guy came and took our whole front door. Right. So the first time I said that was the day it happened at my house on the podcast. But I didn't do the joke. And a lot of it too is when you see the joke, it's going to be a presented package. But I just like that morning it happened, and I was like, this guy came to our house and just took our front door this morning. I had no idea. And so I said it on the podcast, and then it became, but then that was it. I never talked about it ever again. Yeah. And then it became a joke. Occasionally you can catch yourself, you say something, and maybe you're about to say something funny, then you're like, and I might even say it. I might be like, I'm going to hold on to that. I don't want to tell that story. Or even at the beginning, we might tell a story with me and the other comics and just go, here's this funny story. You're like, but I don't want to tell it on the podcast. I'm going to do it in my act. You got to be real protective of your act. That's what, if you're a young comic, you got to be protective of what goes on stage. Don't you think to use it all in podcasts because you need to be funny on podcasts so you can go tell stories, and then you're realizing that you're telling stories or jokes that you could use in an act, and you're kind of doing them on a podcast. You know, you got to know when to do that and when not to do it.
Yeah, I always thought that was an interesting thing because I won't name any names, but I've seen some dudes who have podcast comedians. I'm like, man, this guy is hilarious. And I'll go watch their stand-up special or something. I'm like, I thought the podcast was maybe a little bit better than that, you know? And
yeah, because it's on the cuff or they figure it out. Yeah. Yes, it's really what you're, you know, it's, I don't know. I mean, it's, you got to love I love stand-up comedy. I love it so much. I think it's so fun. I think it's interesting. I learn stuff still now. Like you learn, I have a story in my act now that happened 2 years ago, and I was never able to find a place for it. And it never really worked as its own kind of story. It was like missing a phone or talking to my wife on top of a mountain on the phone. And it never could stay on its own. And then now I have it, that story is with this other story about my wife, and it adds color to that story. So it's like, that's so fun because you just get to sit there and you have this idea that you're like, where are you going to, like, you're funny. And I've tried to do it. I try to tell you by yourself, but it doesn't really get a big laugh. It's not that big of a thing. So then you just got to kind of sit and you got to go, all right, well, it's kind of life. You figure out life where you go, you know, if you feel God tells you to do something, you kind of wait to go, I don't know where I'm going to use that, but I'm going to just trust that there's going to be an opportunity. And when it comes together, it's like, I mean, it's very exciting.
You talk about comedy like Seinfeld does. Like,
yeah,
you're a surgeon with it, man. And I'm a huge comedy fan, man. So it's like to hear you talk, like pick it apart like that, I'm super interested. You said something on your podcast, I think it was your most recent one, dude. It wasn't like a joke. You guys were talking, you and Dusty, I believe, were debating Nirvana and Post Malone.
Yeah.
And you're like debating the differences, and it was just a fleeting thought, but it killed me when I heard it. And you're like, oh, how is Post Malone better than Nirvana? I was like, well, he stayed alive.
Yeah.
And it just kept going, dude. I started dying laughing when you said that. But nobody caught it. They just kind of kept going. Yeah, that's wild, man.
Yeah.
That's a wild.
That's one of the bigger things that you got to do. Stay alive.
Yeah. Stay alive.
Yeah.
It works out.
Yeah.
It works out. Kind of big.
Yeah.
So I know that you, like, people talk to me a lot about football. And I like talking about football, obviously, because it's what I did for a long time. Mm-hmm. But other things are fun to talk about, too.
Yeah.
You're a big sports guy.
Yes.
Big sports guy.
Big sports guy.
Would you rather talk about golf first or Vanderbilt? Both mean a lot to you.
Yeah, both mean a lot to me.
Vanderbilt would be a lot shorter story. Let's talk about Vanderbilt first, because there's not much to talk about there.
No.
Let's be honest.
Because there's the most to talk about.
Is there, though?
Is there a lot about Miami of Ohio?
Yeah,
You're not even the real Miami.
And we actually were a school before Florida's a state.
Were you?
Yes, we were.
Oh,
way
wow.
before. So we're actually the real Miami.
And then they came in and dominated it so bad.
Created some sort of a state. I mean, it's like there's some school down there. It's whatever. Like, whatever. They cheated.
How long have y'all... They were doing college before Florida was there?
Before Florida was even there. Yes. What's that tell you?
They weren't doing a very good job at college if they didn't know about Florida. They weren't teaching.
We're the Harvard of the Midwest.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I'll say our rivalry with Cincinnati is the longest rivalry west of the Allegheny. So it's longer than anything else. Anything else in football.
West of the what?
Allegheny River.
Oh. Usually people say Mississippi. You're picking
we're even further.
You're picking a different river.
Yeah. It's a much bigger. Or Porn River in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you got a river that doesn't even no one's heard of.
We have three of them.
Yeah. I know you have three of them, but
yeah. Can you name them?
Are you? No.
Okay.
No, I'm not from Pittsburgh.
But anyway, Vanderbilt, obviously great school for academics, just below Miami, Ohio, in terms of like how smart you are to have to go there. You didn't go there.
No. I did not.
You laugh?
I started with that.
Yeah, you can start. I did not go to Vanderbilt.
Obviously, just a fan because you're from this area.
From here, yes.
And they do still have a football team.
Yeah. They do. We're getting on the right track. We've been doing good.
Well, you had one good game this year.
No, we had multiple good games.
Wow.
But we had one unbelievable
huge game because you were texting me during it.
Yes.
Was that the game that you didn't go on stage for? What game? No, you lost that one.
I lost that one.
Because I was like, field goal. Yeah, you're texting me like, I'm supposed to be on stage in like 2 minutes.
And I was like, I got to go. And I went on stage and I didn't know.
And I text him like, you're not going to like this when you get off stage.
That's the first text I see when I get off stage. So an hour went by. I don't see anything. And then I just come back. Ben's already moved on with his life.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I'm like devastated. And he's like, what game are you talking about? I was like, you don't remember?
You don't remember an hour ago? Vandy? And like, no.
Yeah.
I don't. I was over that. But Vanderbilt had a big win this year.
Yes.
Well, I know you have, but one stuck out more than everyone.
Yes.
Right? When you guys beat Alabama.
Oh, yeah. Number one, Alabama.
Is that like the greatest sports moment that you can think of in a long time?
Yeah. It was. Yeah. I mean, it just was the biggest. I'd like to say I felt good about it. Michael Longfellow is on Saturday Night Live. We did the water slide sketch, where what would you do if a guy died on top of a water slide? Would you push him down? Very, very funny. So that sketch was like, when we first heard it, it was like just saying it was like, this is the fun. That's a sketch that's interesting because it's funny to say. Like, it's a very funny thing to be like, well, what if someone died? Would you push them down the water slide? You laugh at the idea of that, but doing it is kind of difficult. Because it's like, it can be too real it can be very dark. Yeah. So you have to like do it in a very delicate way where it doesn't, because they tried to do it before and it didn't work out. But as we were standing on top of that water slide, doing rehearsal that Saturday, he's like, he goes, who's Vandy play today? I go, Alabama, and I'm pretty excited about it. Didn't say I was going to win, but I was excited.
Yeah.
And then we went and won, and I was like doing full, dress rehearsal. So they do a live show at 8 p.m. on Saturday Night Live, and they do all the sketches, so it's probably 2 hours long. And then you got to cut it down to an hour and a half, or whatever the show is. But it's from a different crowd. So I went actually on stage and said, Vandy just beat Alabama. And to those people, no one would see this except the people in the crowd. And I'll be honest with you, it got off to a weird, the show got off, my stand-up part got off to a weird start. Enough so it scared me from saying it. I was like, well, I'm not going to say it on the live taping.
Yeah.
Because, it's in New York.
Nobody cared.
Because no one cares. New York's tough too. Because I remember my buddy was a comic, and I remember telling him once I would record the Vandy games. So I would record them and watch them when I got home from doing shows. And I'm recording them on, this is back when they're on Jefferson Pilot, and it's like, it looks like it's a camera it looks like they just left the camera up from practice, and I'm having to watch it on that. And so I told my buddy, I go, hey, don't tell him, I recorded the Vandy game, so don't tell me the score. And he goes, I don't even know what that means. Like he didn't even know what the statement, he didn't, he goes, I don't even know what any of that, what you don't want to hear. I don't know what it's about. I don't know what Vandy is.
Vandy? What is
he
Vandy?
Goes, what he gets, it just, there was no context to it. So he's like, I don't know what any of it means. So don't worry about me. But I could be able to, I would always record Vandy games. When Vandy almost beat Florida, it's a lot of games like that. I remember where I was.
Almost.
I remember where I was on a lot of Vandy.
Almost.
Almost wins.
A lot of those.
Or we got a excessive. Errol Bennett got a bad call, and Jay Cutler threw a touchdown.
Yeah.
And against Florida, and then they called Errol Bennett for excessive celebration. He did nothing.
He did nothing?
Did nothing.
Like, then why did he get a penalty?
Because they don't want Vandy. Because they don't want Vandy to do good.
Who's they?
You know who they. If anybody knows who they are, you're probably part of they now.
Part of they. I'm part of they. You know who went to Vandy?
Who's that?
Our good friend Brendan Conley.
Did you really?
I'm pretty sure. At least Anna did. Maybe he didn't.
Well, that makes sense.
I think they both did.
She's smart.
Yeah, maybe he didn't. But anyway,
really?
Sorry.
Yeah.
We always mention him in the show. Is Jay Cutler the most famous Vanderbilt football player? I mean, that's how I couldn't even. I mean, he's the one I know of.
Yeah.
Probably not a lot of guys who went to the NFL from Vandy.
No,
I don't mean that as a joke. I'm
yeah.
just being honest.
My favorite, Corey Chavis, went to. Do you ever know Corey Chavis?
I do know that name.
Yeah, he was my favorite Vanderbilt player. He played D-back. Went to play for the Vikings and then the Cardinals too.
Yeah.
But Jordan Matthews, we've had. I mean, there's been every year we've had people go. Oren Burke, he's at the Eagles right now. They just won a Super Bowl. That's something.
That is something. That's something. Because I'm trying to. I'm just in my head as I didn't mean to.
I mean, who went to Miami, Ohio?
Me.
There's a lot of. Yeah. Is there a lot of?
Okay.
I mean, kind of a big deal.
Huh?
Well, McVay.
Sean McVay. But we are the cradle of coaches.
He's a coach.
John Harbaugh.
Oh.
Weeb Eubank. Paul Brown.
There you go.
Let me just Terry Hebner.
So you were the. You really were the dumb one, not to be the only not coach out of that group. You go.
Just saying.
There you go. Should he be a coach? I mean, it's coach. So it's coach you is what they would probably
Cradle
call
of
it.
coaches is what they call it.
The cradle of
Bo
coaches.
Schembechler, Woody Hayes, if you've heard of those guys.
Except one guy.
No, I just won Super Bowls.
These guys are good. Sean McVay won Super Bowls.
They're great. Yeah, they're. Sean McVay was an incoming freshman as I left.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we never got to cross paths officially. But I wanted. I know where you were going with this. You're trying to make me lose track of thought. Because I was trying to figure out who's the worst football team, like Vandy or the Titans, because because you're obviously a Titans fan too a little bit, or you don't really care.
No. I'm a Titans fan.
That's why.
I grew up. I was a Washington fan, and then because I played football and we had helmets for a little bit, and then we had helmets that were like the Redskins, or the whatever Commanders.
Pre-Commanders.
Pre-Commanders. They should have stuck with the Washington football team.
I thought that was
an
awesome.
amazing name. It made me think every other name was stupid. When I heard Washington football team, I go, why? I feel like a moron being like, well, the Dolphins. You're like, we're grown men cheering for the Dolphins. I go, they should all be the name of the state. They go, why are we not doing that with everything? They should change the whole league right then and just be the Pittsburgh football team. And you go, yeah, just do that. That makes sense. We don't, because it's ridiculous that we're giving
Philadelphia football team just
the Ravens. And you're like, no, just be the Baltimore football team.
That would make so much more sense.
It would make. I mean, it was like they blew out my mind. I was like, God, that's unbelievable. And then they're like, nah, we got it back to the Commanders. You're like, you're the worst now.
We're gonna turn it back to the
yeah.
but yeah, you're living in some bad football down here.
Well, Vandy is on Diego Pavia. He's came back.
Okay, who's that? The coach?
No, the quarterback.
Oh,
Yeah, he's awesome.
okay.
And
Decided not to go to the. He had a chance to be in the NFL or not?
No. He was. Yes, he would have, but he was able to play another year for whatever. He actually went to like court for it.
I did hear about that.
Yeah.
guy. He's
Yeah.
getting paid more from the Nate Bargatze NIL.
Yes. Yeah.
Stay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, it's interesting now. These players.
Oh yeah,
go
we used to
make-
joke about guys like you taking a pay cut to go to the NFL. Now they really are.
Now they really
it's
are.
true. Now
Yeah.
it's
So I mean,
ridiculous.
maybe it helps college sports stay around.
maybe
You got a couple guys that are just like, why would you just go make the money here? And
for sure it's gonna.
Yeah.
It's or I'm gonna just transfer to another school and get paid to go to this school. I'm gonna go to this school.
yeah,
It's like
that's
you
the
lose
part.
that.
That part's tough. But
Who's Tennessee taking with the first pick? Who do you want to take? Who do they take? Who do you want to take? Or have you not thought that far into it?
no, I have. I like the idea. I like Travis Hunter, and I think the Titans need publicity. So you need to be just talked about.
Yeah.
And you need excitement and a player to really get around where, ESPN's going to talk about you every week and be like, well, what's this guy doing? Or what's this? Like, it would have been like if you got Shedeur Sanders and Deion Sanders. I don't want to get rid of our coach, but you need a carnival a little bit.
Yeah.
To make people want to talk about you. Because when you get in this space where they're not talking about you, if you go, take a lineman or something up top where you're like, well, no one really, it's hard to market that. And I know it's about winning football games, but you're like, you need to market, we need some excitement going on about the team. Because,
And there's no quarterback, but
yeah, I mean, I would say I would think Travis Hunter, I kind of wish it was like they go get Sam Darnold or something.
Go get like a veteran guy.
Go get like a veteran guy, then get like Travis Hunter, just because it's he's a once in a generation kind of guy that can play both sides and does that world. And so I think you could do that, either that or I like Cam Ward, but
yeah. This is sad because I haven't even paid that close attention. Is Will Levis still here?
yeah.
Okay. He's not.
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah,
Okay.
he probably.
Yeah, I don't even know if he's on a contract.
He might be right back there.
Oh,
He might be back there. Yeah, he's a big fan of this. This is the only podcast he listens to.
It should be.
Yeah.
He gets good quarterback advice.
Yeah.
'Cause I like to give advice, and my two biggest advice I give to my kids when you're playing quarterback is, if you want to complete a pass, throw it inbounds.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Because we see quarterbacks throw it out of bounds a lot, and that just doesn't usually work with completing it. And the other one would
Let's
be
agree to disagree.
and the other one would be to throw it to the guys in your same color jersey.
That's right. That's good.
This is solid.
Just two decent pieces of advice
Yeah.
that hopefully he listens to and he can pick up on those things. I don't mean that just for him. That's just advice I give to quarterbacks
to quarterbacks. Yeah.
in general. Starting with my kids.
That's
Yeah.
sound. That's sound.
It works.
Yeah.
It works for me sometimes. Sometimes it didn't work for me.
Yeah, hey man.
I tried to keep it in bounds, but I couldn't always throw it to the guys in my jersey. I
Can't
get
win
that.
them all, but
Yeah. But
Sometimes you just don't see them,
no, they
throw it.
definitely step in front of your guy.
just every
Yeah.
time you're like, just take it. Go
and
for
you're just like, oh man.
There have been times that the ball has been just barely left my fingertips, and I'm like, no way.
You ever throw it and go, I don't care? Do you ever think that? You ever just throw it in the
Usually
air?
those are Hail Mary at the end of the game, like whatever, just
Yeah.
end of half.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the classic. Charlie Batch is on here. Like the worst interception quarterbacks throw is like the end of the half, where it does like you're going to throw a Hail Mary at the end of the half. The chances are so slim that you catch it for a touchdown, but they're very high that you're going to throw an interception, and it's like it's just a dumb stat.
Yeah, it's on the stat sheet.
Yeah, it's a stat sheet's interception. Like I had a great game. I threw for 375 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
QBR got hit.
Yeah.
Because I threw a Hail Mary at the end of the half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's one where every once in a while
it's
it might
fun.
just tail out of bounds.
Yeah.
Just
Tried,
the wind
coach.
got
Sorry,
it.
coach.
Yeah.
Wind got it. Throw out the back of the end zone. Like, man, that ball, my arm feeling
Yeah.
good today.
Dude,
A
that in the
little
stands,
long.
brother. You wouldn't even try.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was trying to, but
How is the when they say that in football, like when you script, like you got it scripted, like so that means y'all know this
top
is
10, top 12, top 15 plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, going into the game knowing this is what you're going to do. Now, you can get off script, right? You
Yeah.
get sacked on the first play. You have a 3rd and short, 3rd and long. But yeah, when all things will get back on script, yeah, you just you've diagrammed 15 plays or picked 15 of your favorite coaches. You know, the O-line coach might be like, I want. So the OC might say, hey, listen, go to the O-line coach. Give me your favorite 2 runs. Go to the receiver coach. Give me 2 passes. What guy do you want to get the ball early? Go to the quarterback. Give me what your favorite play. So you just kind of compile a list of everyone's favorites and then put them in, and you just
And
let
you go in that
run.
exact order?
Yeah, you'll go in order. Now again, you could jump, like you may have a shot play in there, right? Where you
Yeah.
know, okay, we're taking a Hail Mary, or not Hail Mary, a big play action, something, and it might be like, hey, we're going to move that up or we're going to move it down depending on the scenario situation. Again, your 3rd play might be a unique or reverse, right? You want to throw a trick play in there, but your 3rd play of the game might be a 3rd and 1. You're like, we're gonna bump that down,
Yeah.
bring a play off script in. So it's, but then we're like, we're gonna get right back on script. So
Yeah.
It's just
And then what after when you're done with it, you're just
time to go on to just playing ball.
and so
Now
you're-
it's up to the coordinator to actually think through what he wants to do.
and then a coordinator, like when they change a coordinator a lot, that really matters.
It's a big deal
Yeah.
because is a new coordinator coming in and bringing his system in?
Yeah.
Or is he going to keep the system that's there? Is he going to
Yeah.
combine a little bit of both? And so it's hard. Like you think of guys like we talked about a lot this year in Pittsburgh, Justin Fields. He's played, I think he just finished his 3rd or 4th year in the league, and he's had 4 coordinators. Like
Yeah.
that's so hard. Verbiage is different.
Yeah.
And you might have the exact same play. Like when we had a coordinator come in, Todd Haley came in as our coordinator one year, or he was there for a few years, but when he came in as a new coordinator, he brought his playbook, and he was the only new piece that came. All the players were the same, the coaches were all the same. He was the new piece. And we would have plays that were the exact same plays as he had, but called something completely different. And he was like, no, you guys are all going to learn my system.
Yeah.
And we're like, but we all know, like, why are you having
Yeah.
40 guys learn something new instead of having one guy learn
Yeah.
something new? But you might, you could have something that's the exact same thing, but called something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've been doing something for a long time, your mind is like thinking one way, and now I got to change it to this. So it can be hard for quarterbacks to learn new systems, and just as hard as it is for coordinators to learn new things.
I feel like that's what happened to Tim Tebow. I don't think he got the fair shot he should have got
in the NFL.
Yeah.
Do you concur, Ben?
Yeah. Tim played for. I'm not sure how many years he played for.
Should let him be quarterback.
Was that?
Was he a tight end at some point? He was.
That's when he came back. They tried to put him in because he couldn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't. Tim was an absolutely great college. Great college winner, quarterback. Did a lot of good things in Florida.
I think he made the league nervous.
Yeah. So another thing I wanted to talk about.
The other thing is I asked Peyton Eli this and I didn't really get an answer because I did their Monday cast thing and it was delayed and terrible. But like when a receiver runs out when you're in a huddle and you're still talking and the receiver already kind of takes off, is it like, obviously it's not that guy?
We're not throwing at him.
No, not necessarily, because you can do multiple things. You could tell him, like, the play, like he may want to hear. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes it's like, okay, I'm whatever. And usually you can tell by their manner when they leave the huddle. If they're like you can tell like their body, like figures. Yeah. But no, a lot of times you may like, I've done that before with guys where I'm like, because they got to run the furthest and you want them to get set, and you could tell them like, hey, here's the play.
Yeah.
And they go, and then you tell everyone else everything else. Because a lot, like, receivers aren't supposed to hear the cadence anyway. They're supposed to watch the ball. So they don't really need to know what it's on. And usually that's the last thing you're talking about in the huddle is the cadence.
Yeah.
So not always. Sometimes yes, but not always. It just depends on what it is. And again, sometimes you're telling them, hey, I want you to do this real quick. And then they go. So it's kind of not a tell.
Just don't guard them.
Just let it go.
Just let it go. You see him go off too early. Sometimes you see him go off so early, you're like, that guy might as well go, hey, I'll just sit down over here because they leave so early.
Sometimes
they barely put their head in, and then they take off, and you're like, I bet we're running this ball because this guy.
There is some truth there. Yes, I will give you that, but I wouldn't get a good quarterback, and he'll
take advantage of it.
Yeah, take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So
all right,
I know you don't see that a lot in this area. I wanted to. I say that out loud. How would not loud?
Yeah, we recorded it actually. You said it into a microphone.
I'm a Tim Tebow guy. I think he could still come back to the Titans. I would say go get a veteran.
Would you guys take him?
I go get a veteran.
Take him right now.
Get a veteran guy, Tebow.
Take Tim Tebow right now.
Travis Hunter.
Evan, you think Tim Tebow would be a good quarterback right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
No.
Okay. Would you let him go to Tennessee, Cleveland, Cincinnati, or Baltimore?
Yes.
Okay.
Dumb move on Evan.
What does Evan know?
Yeah, he does.
Evan knows a lot about football.
Yeah,
but if you wouldn't take him in Pittsburgh, no, I wanted to talk because I know you have to go to dinner, but golf.
Yes,
I know we have a. That's how we really. That's the first time we met was this year earlier. Well, last year, at a golf thing called the Crew Cup.
Yep.
Which it's like a secret society of golfers.
Yeah,
can't really talk about it.
Yeah,
this was your first year playing it. My second year playing it. And so, but we know that golf is a huge thing for you. Always been that way. Where did the golf come from? Is this because you're kind of addicted, right?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I'm so busy now that it's hard to do it. I'm actually going to try to play Tuesday, I think, so we'll get some nice weather. But I try to as much as I can. I've had to learn to like kind of back off of it, or because it's such an obsessive thing,
right?
And so I've had to learn to kind of like be like, all right, well, I need to, you can think about it all day long. So it's like you learn to balance it. But yeah, I mean, I love it. And you're out there. It's like comedy. You're alone. It's your fault. It's only your fault. It's no one else's fault. Even how much you want it to be everybody else's fault, it's not. And that's the most frustrating, furious thing.
Yeah, and the Crew Cup thing we did was a team thing. So you let the team down sometimes. I'm not saying you.
No, I did.
Oh, you did? Okay. I didn't want to say it.
Yeah. I was one of the worst.
And
at Pebble Beach. I'm the only one that works still. Everybody else all of them are tired and don't do anything. So you just play golf 40 hours a day.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy golf too.
Yeah, I bet so. Yeah, I would too. That's what I always think when I get asked to these pro-ams. I'm like, yeah, it's like asking you during the thick of it to be like, hey, Ben, will you know, you got a Super Bowl next week, but do you mind coming out to my uncle's charity event we're doing at the
local,
and then you're like, come on, man, Warren Moon's doing it, and I'm like, you're like, Warren Moon's not playing anymore though, and then they make you feel bad because you go, dude, I'm kind of in it right now. Like,
well, I mean, the golf, but I'm with you. It's an addictive thing, and I know you can't do it as much, but you didn't tell us that when we were picking teams.
I did not. So, but I think I'll do better this year.
Do you think you'll get invited back?
I did figure. I think so. I think I might have already gotten invited back.
But they haven't heard. No, they sent the invites out already.
Yeah, they guess.
Well, if they hear that you're not playing, because it's Crew Cup match, you have to be like a low handicap.
Yeah,
I think 8 or better, 7 or better.
Yes,
and you carry like a 3, 4.
No. I carry an 8.
You're better than that.
No, not right now. I would even you could argue I'm a 10. And by argue, I would argue it. But I can. I'm learning to get my brain out of the way. That's what I'm focused on right now. Like to be. I played good in Vegas. I've been playing a little bit because I went to Vegas. I played really good there, and but I'm learning to get my brain out of it. Like and just like
that's hard.
I actually was thinking about it today driving over here. I was like, I'm gonna start putting where you line it up at the toe of your putter and then just try to get it back to the middle instead of being. Some guys do this. I just saw a video.
Who?
I want to say Brooks Koepka. But that also could be, I could be making that up. Maybe
so you put the ball, you start the ball at the toe, on the toe.
And then you go and you kind of swirl it back to the middle and hit it.
Oh, that doesn't seem very, like, isn't everything about putting about being like as skilled as possible?
But it's like if I get, I don't know how to think in exact ways. So like, like a Bryson is someone that can think in very exact ways. But I can think creatively, so I can. If you need me to like hook a ball or slice it really hard, like I can do that because I can really picture it. Mm-hmm. But when it's like just a straight one down the middle, it's like I have a hard time picturing.
We're a lot alike then, because if I come up to a par, whatever 4 or 5, and it's a perfectly straight hole, I'm like. I don't know how I can't do it.
I would much rather
have a ball go different directions.
Yeah.
But it's maybe because I don't hit a straight ball very often either.
Yeah. But I think it's just the way you visualize it, and so like a straight hole is like
the putting thing seems
tough.
Weird to me, but I mean,
I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah,
but I'm saying I might.
If it's one of those ones where you go, I feel like putting's that way. You'll go and you'll make like the first 2 and you're like, done. I got it all figured out.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything else.
Yeah.
And then the first time you get on the course with somebody, you're going to like, why can't I make it?
I'll be putting. I'll do left hand low. I'll switch during a round. I'll probably putt 4 different ways during one round. And I'm like, God, I can't get it today. And I mean, there's no consistency at all in what I'm trying to do.
Oh, that's so. My wife loves your the golf one about the timing. Like the golf is a very precise time. Like that whole bit you did with golf is hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, maybe next year we can, if we are on the same team again, if I get invited, if we're on the same team, we can go out as the 2-man team, and I can try and lift you to victory because I went 3-0 and 1 last year.
Yeah, you killed it last year.
So my team still hasn't won though, and it's a team. This is a team event. It's a fun
we're on
team
the same
event.
Team. I know, but this I will be better. You know, it was I was very busy.
Yeah,
we played early.
It was very early.
Yeah, we were Pebble Beach were the first tee time. So and getting up at like 6 every morning or something.
Tough. Coming from the East Coast was tough. And then trying to do that.
Well, I mean, just in my life, the East Coast didn't matter because it was just
getting up
in
early.
General. It was like, But the East Coast, it is tough. It's a hard thing to get in the swing of things over there.
If we're not on the same team, then I'm going to request us to play against each other because that would be fun.
Yes.
Because
do I get strokes?
No, it's no strokes. You got to play straight up. By that time, you're going to be a better player, and I'll be a worse player, so we'll be about the same.
It is. You'll be older.
I will be older.
Yeah.
We've got a birthday in like a week. I know.
That's fun.
It is. Well, is it? Yeah.
How old are you going to be? 44?
I think like 43.
43?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. You look 44 all day.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. How old are you?
45. You're my brother's age. You're 82?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 42.
No, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, your
Is this
brother.
the stuff you would do in the huddle?
Awesome, by the way.
Is this stuff you would do in the huddle?
What?
Just jokes like that? Like it'd be fun?
I do. I got to keep guys loose because
Yeah.
they get stressed out. I'm the fun one.
Yeah.
Dude, no chance you ever clowned a total joke.
I'm the fun guy.
You're
Telling the
the
guys,
fun
hey,
guy.
hey guys, listen,
Yeah.
let's have
We
some
call
fun
some
out here
references
today.
on that.
Let's have some
Yeah,
fun. today.
yeah.
Yeah,
You seem, because every time we talk about football, you always take it pretty seriously.
What are you talking about?
But yeah, we have to believe. Now, I've been to pretty good time. Anybody want to be out there with Ben?
Delay a game because you're over there
Listen,
doing knock jokes.
okay.
Yeah.
Do we want to have friends at the Boys
You
and
go
Girls
like,
Club? Or are we trying to win
You're
championships?
hitting your helmet like the Three Stooges.
So stupid.
The receiver's long gone. He hasn't been there for.
We're running the ball. They obviously.
Yeah, he goes.
Ben's telling
Ben's
jokes again.
doing his. He goes. You know where we're going. Right up to 2 gap. I don't. Is that a gap?
2 gap. Yeah. It could be a gap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
I ran one running
2
play.
hole. Usually they're called holes.
2 hole,
Gaps
yes.
on defense. Holes on.
That's right.
offense,
2
usually.
hole.
It feels weird that we're talking about the number 2 hole.
2 back. Yeah.
But
Well, 2 gap actually.
2 gap.
2 gap.
Defense.
I was keeping it clean.
Because you're a clean comedian. That's a great
Full circle,
segue.
look at us.
into
Yeah.
that.
We do this, guys.
We're all over the place now. I'm sorry.
We
I'm
land
sorry.
this plane.
We need to land this. But the way we land this thing, and you have to participate.
7 candies again. But we do it the other way.
From 1 to 7 now. No, this is our 2-minute drill.
Okay.
So I'm putting 2 minutes on my clock.
Yeah.
And I just have a bunch of quick questions. And,
Yeah.
Well, I know. Before we go, I have to ask this because I'm. If I am the captain of this crew cup team ever, I want to know. I'm picky. What's the best and worst part of your golf game? I want to know what
I'd say
course.
the best is probably putting.
Did you just say that?
As you just said, you're trying something
Well, he's
new.
got a lot of
Okay.
tactics. He's got
Hey,
a lot of
yeah,
tactics.
okay.
in that.
But I'm not bad.
Okay.
If I can get, it can be, the worst would be the chipping.
Oh.
Yeah.
And this year we're at Pinehurst. That's a lot. I think it's requiring a lot of chipping.
Oh, and that's the worst fairway. Like their stuff is not fun.
Yeah.
But I'll have it all figured out by then.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you. Okay. Ready? 2-minute
Yeah.
drill. Quick questions. Give me your answers as fast as you can.
Okay.
All right. Spence, we ready?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to start the clock. Pepsi or Coke?
Pepsi,
Pie or cake?
cake,
Chocolate or vanilla?
chocolate,
Ocean or lake?
ocean,
Favorite sport to watch?
football.
College football or pro?
Right, college.
Okay. Monday night football, Sunday night football, or Thursday night football to watch?
Thursday night. No, it's not. Because it's crazy. I don't think they count those games. Monday,
What's your favorite sport to play?
basketball,
Are you a car or truck guy?
car,
Would you rather play Augusta or the best venue in the world for stand-up?
I mean the best because with stand up the best venue.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean
Okay. I don't have time to talk about it anymore. Are you more nervous on the first tee to Pro-Am or before a show?
the first tier pro, yeah.
Amen. Cheese pizza or pepperoni?
Pepperoni,
Steak or chicken?
steak.
Do you call it pop or soda?
I call it soda. I would call it Coke, really. Just Coke. Everything's Coke.
That's but
Southern.
okay. That's
Southern
weird.
thing.
Okay, you have a pressure drive, big situation. You gotta get the ball in the fairway. Driver or 3-wood?
Driver.
Titans or Commodores? It's called the Commodores, right? Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt.
Okay. Baked potato or mashed potato? We're almost done. Time is almost up.
Mashed potato.
Are you a city guy or a country guy?
Right. Country.
Chips Ahoy or Oreos?
Oreos.
Pancakes or waffles?
And pancakes.
Hot wings or barbecue wings?
Hot wings.
Warm weather or cold weather vacation?
Warm weather.
Appetizers or desserts?
Desserts.
PJ Tour or live golf?
PGA.
Good job. He nailed it.
Nailed it.
Literally
You
the
passed.
last
There you
one.
go. Thank
Yeah,
you.
passed.
You won.
Yeah.
Well
Live's fun though.
done. Yeah.
I think live would be. I think it would be fun. I'm for live. I'm not.
Me too.
But it's like I think you would then be like, all right, just play. Just that you just get on your whole life. You worked and you just get on and just here pit bull playing on the speaker, and you're like, oh, yeah, I want a Masters. You just sit there. I think it's awesome, but I think there's some point you gotta.
Do you think those guys should be able to like come back and play in tournaments?
Yeah. I think it's crazy. I think it's nuts. I don't think they should have ever. Yes, they should be able to come back and they should figure it out and work together. And I think it's not insane what Phil did with Liv and going to do that. I think he did it all with the right stuff in mind, and it all got very sloppy. But
yeah, it felt like it was like when Rory was calling people name calling. It felt like it just was like, what are we doing?
I think Rory got put in a bad spot.
I do too.
Yeah,
but he still didn't need to like chirp as much as he did.
Well, again, I think Rory, they both did.
Rory, yes, I agree. Yeah. I agree. Both sides are doing it. It was Norman. It was all back and forth. But I wish it wouldn't. I guess I'm saying I'm not blaming anybody. I just wish it wouldn't have come to that.
I wish it wouldn't have either. But I think Rory got so much put on him more than I think people would realize. That it's like, this being the face of the PGA, and then that's the part that makes me upset with the PGA, because you kind of made a guy that he doesn't own the league,
right?
So why are you throwing all this on this guy and all this? But
yeah, no, there was a live tour on the other day. My son and I were watching. There's one. Did you see the one that was at night? It was like under the lights. That was pretty cool to watch. I feel like I would have so many excuses. The light hit my ball weird.
Yeah.
That was cool to watch. That was fun.
But it's hard to like get excited about it.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah,
I don't disagree. I'm with you. I'd like to see him kind of figure this thing out. So. Nate, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. I know that I don't know if we're allowed to talk about, but I'm going to come on your show.
You are.
I'm excited for that.
I'm excited
got some
too.
Jokes.
All right.
Probably saying a lot of the same stuff I've told in the huddle.
Yeah. Great.
So
this will be like a huddle.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Or will you be the one that leaves early?
Yeah, I'm on the outside, so I can leave early. You're sitting in the middle like a quarterback, so you can't. You're in it.
I'm in it to win it.
Yeah.
All right. But thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate you doing the show. You are truly funny, obviously. And I'm, again, as a parent, thank you for your clean comedy that the kids can watch. Your family is a delight. I loved getting to meet them.
We can't thank you enough for you. You were wonderful to our entire family.
So cool.
Yeah.
I wish I had more time here because I want to see your daughter's horse. That was one of the funniest things I ever got to see.
Yeah.
When you sent me a picture, she got am I allowed to say this?
Yeah.
She got a horse for Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you got home, you sent me a picture, and you said it got like delivered to like your parents' like housing development.
55 and up community.
it's like standing in the front yard with a boat.
Yeah.
It's so
the place that doesn't really have a yard. I mean, these houses are built on top of each other because the point of it is there is no yard.
Have things been going well with the horse and your daughter?
She loves it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Things have been going great. She's been excited and takes care of it. And it's fun to, have her, I like getting the obsession with it. And I went with her to buy stuff and you need this and that and all this kind of stuff. And
have you ridden it yet?
I have been on it, yes. Nice. But not like crazy, just
like
around.
Jumps or just kind of walking?
No, just walking around.
Yeah. Do you get up to like Western, or are you up there with your tight pants and your high boots on?
Is Western
jumping?
I did no saddle.
Bareback. Nice.
I did that once, but then she's had me get up on the saddle.
Nice.
I think she gets me up there and makes fun of me for how I'm on it.
Okay.
But
hey,
it's a job of a dad.
It is
to go take kids. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to doing your show. I appreciate you being on.
We're excited. And, thank you. Thank you for this. I'm excited to eat this food.
I think he's ready to leave. He doesn't really want to eat it.
He goes, I'm just saying what I have to say I can't wait to eat all your food. This guy hates Tim Tebow.
He hates Tim Tebow.
He hates Tim Tebow for some reason.
Boy, he must be a sinner. Because, if you don't
Was he
love
a
Tim
sinner?
Tebow, if you don't love Tim Tebow.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Tebow's tight with the Lord, too, just like all of us.
Yeah.
It's nice. Anyway, this could go way off the rails. But thank you, Football and Family. Appreciate y'all joining us. Check out Nate's podcast. Mm-hmm. Check out his specials. Check out his stand-up. Anywhere he is, check it out.
Yeah.
And laugh. Because the more you laugh,
well,
the longer
I have a book coming out May 6th.
No way. What's
Big Demise.
The Big Demise?
No. It's funny as I talk about that in the chapter because that's what it sounds like they thought I said.
Okay.
Big, dumb eyes. But the way I say it, it sounds like it's Big Demise, which is a much different book.
Okay.
It's coming out June 6th.
Yeah, June 6th, that is. It's coming out June 6th. It's got some pretty bold predictions in it.
I don't know if you've ever read Revelation. Never heard of it?
What's Big Dumb Eyes about?
Just stories. Yeah, just like stories. Some that I've, a couple that I've said on stage, and they're just, I'm giving you the whole story, and then a lot of stories that I've never told, and
nice.
that fit in. I just did the audio book this.
That was my
past
next
week.
question, and you did it.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna do the audio book.
It's a lot. It's
really. Is it hard to do?
Yeah, it's like 10 hours. Or so. I don't know.
I usually listen to audiobooks on like 1.5. Will I still get the same?
I don't know. Mine's going to be...
Also do it twice. Once on regular and once on 1.5.
Once slower. Yeah.
All right. Well, check out the book.
I bet you will think you won't... When you start mine, you're going to think that it some reason started you backwards instead of the regular play.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be like, what is this at? 0.5 or something? Like it's too slow.
Oh, okay.
And then you're going to speed it up.
Do they tell you like when you're reading it, like, Nate, you got to slow down a little bit?
No, they didn't say that at all to me. They didn't. There was never. Yeah, they go, how long do you want this book to be, bud? It's longer. It's only 50 pages, but it's 12-hour long audio book.
It's a picture book.
Yeah, there's 47 pictures in this book, and it's taking forever.
Oh, goodness. Well, thank you, Nate, again for being here. Appreciate you. Looking forward to many more rounds of golf.
Yeah, me too, man.
And no more grenades.
No more grenades.
I'll leave it at that. Appreciate y'all.